Hi everyone, I'm Roxanne Gould and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about 3 steps that helped me transition through my gray hair period. And actually these 3 steps are valuable no matter what transition you're going through. So I want to share them with you because I found them to be helpful when I was thinking back on that period of my life when I transitioned. Now I made a video on it, and it is a story of how I actually went from long hair to short hair. I just chopped it off, but that's a whole other video, and please watch that one if you're interested in my personal story of transitioning. But I didn't mention those 3 steps in that video. I've been thinking about it again lately, and I realized it kind of comes down to these basic steps, which are really helpful for every transition you go through. So the first one is actually to ask yourself what it is that you value in your life. What is important to you? What is essential to have? At that time that I was going through my own personal gray transition, I was a single mom. I had 2 children to raise, and I was very concerned that I might lose my modeling job because at the time there were no gray hair models. This was decades ago. So I was concerned I'd lose my job, and I thought, well, if I cut my hair, I would have to go back to school. Maybe to get another degree in something to be able to have an income. And yet when I looked at what for me at the time were essential, what things were essential and what it was that I valued, I realized that it was my time, my money, and that if I had gone back to school, I would have used up my time and money to get an education in something. And at that time, I wanted to stay home with my children. That was another thing that I valued. So if I was in school, I'm going against the 2 things that I valued, which was staying at home with my children and spending more time and money to get another job when I needed a job quickly to have the money and the time back. So knowing that those were my priorities, that was essential, helped me get rid of the fluff, get rid of what wasn't essential, and focus on what it was that I valued. It was scary because I did not know at the time that I would still be able to continue modeling. Like I said, there were no gray hair divisions. There wasn't even a community for which I could get support for transitioning to gray. My gosh, back then they didn't even have hair color to help you turn gray. It was a different time, different era. So when you know what it is that is valuable to you, it gives you clarity of mind. It gives you a certain power and strength to realize this is important. I value this. I'm going to stick to it. These are my values. Our culture has so many distractions. There's a lot of fluff in our world to veer us off course, so to speak, and that shiny object syndrome. And I think you might agree that time is very precious, valuable, fleeting, and it's even more essential to stay on track with what it is that's important to you. Otherwise, you might spend so much more time doing something, and at the end you realize, what is it I just did? I don't even remember. It wasn't even that important. It didn't bring value back to me or to anyone else, When you clarify what's important to you, you begin to live more of your authentic life, and you begin to have more clarity of mind, and you are able to actualize your dreams and obtain your goals. So there's quite a few benefits from knowing what is necessary for your life as far as what it is you value and keeping that very front and center. It gave me the desire to go forward, even though I was stepping into my fear. I was fearing I would lose my job. And yet I got to the point where I realized my values were extremely important to me. And it gave me, like I said, a certain inner strength to go forward, even though I didn't have the support. I knew I was doing something right for me. And lo and behold, it turned out great. It's interesting when you let go of something, it gets replaced with something that's better. So I never knew that even though I was going to be letting go of my modeling career, I never dreamed that I would be in Vogue at 61 years old, interviewed, quoted with my name next to my picture, not once, but 3 times in 1 year. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I really believe it is because I stayed on my own authentic course. You see how this could reverberate into other topics, other transitions in one's life rather than just the gray hair? This brings me to point number 2, which is to be open. Relinquish what you think you are in control of. I thought I was in control of my modeling career if I looked a certain way, which was having the dark hair, and I let go of that. It was really scary because I didn't know what I was getting into or what would become of it. But I relinquished it. I realized I really don't have control over what it is my looks bring me, but I have control over how it is I want to feel. See the difference? So I was actually holding on to this false sense of who I thought I was. It was actually holding on to nothing. It was just a false sense. It was fabricated in my own mind. That's why I think point number 2 is important, because you need to be open to possibilities of, say, for example, a new you. Be open to something that you haven't seen yet or heard yet or thought yet, but it can't present itself to you until you're in the right space. The right space meaning being open to receiving something that you haven't even thought possible. Kind of works that way. You know, you have to let go of something to get something. And then point 3 is to trust. Trust. I suppose it's very challenging for a lot of people because it's kind of nebulous. It's not concrete. It's almost, you know, in another dimension. Like what is it that you're trusting? It's unseen. It can be felt inside of yourself, this knowing of trust, but it can be a very scary thing to step into and embrace because of those reasons. Somehow for me, at that difficult period that I was in years ago, and having no one really to turn to for support, I turned inward. So I guess you could say I trusted my gut. I trusted my inner voice. I trusted my instinct. I really believe that your instincts never mislead you. They're always there to help guide you if you listen, if you take a moment to try to get a sense of a feeling. By listening, I don't actually mean a voice, you know, the kind of voice you hear in your ears. I'm actually talking about something you feel inside, a certain knowing that you sense inside, that you sense this is the way to go. And when you put all of that together, this scraping away the non-essentials and sticking to what you value and being open to new possibilities, to a new version of yourself, and trusting that it will be okay, trusting that the universe has your back, that yes, you do need to plan. You know, when I trusted that things would be okay as a single mom, of course I had to be wise and frugal and plan, but things did turn out okay. I actually took my experience as a model and opened a modeling school, and I counseled teenage girls how to build their self-esteem. I had that for 10 years. So that fit into my definition of what I valued. I was able to utilize my job and my knowledge, and it brought me back my time so I could spend with my kids and be available to them and make my own schedule, and it brought me the income I needed to make a living. And like I said, these 3 steps are so helpful for any transition you go through, because transitions can be difficult, scary, unknown, uncomfortable, not familiar, and it takes some guts, really, to get yourself through it. And you might agree that this world today is kind of nuts, and we are going to get through it. Remember what is valuable to you. Get rid of the fluff. Focus on what is essential. Be open to new possibilities in your life. Trust that they will come and that you will be cared for. Turn to people that you can support. Turn to people that can support you. You're not alone. Feel that support. Feel that love. Trust that you are also guided towards what to do next. That's that instinct I'm talking about. That's that inner voice that never misleads you. And I must say, when I did decide to go gray and it started to grow in, I never felt so empowered. I never felt so capable. And I never felt as authentic as then. And those are incredible qualities to help you move forward, to get you through turbulent times or through any transition. When you take those steps to empower yourself and make you feel like you are capable, then you become capable and you are empowered. And I wish that for you. And I want to offer you a free report. It's on my website if you join the mailing list. It's about secrets to beauty. And some of those secrets are about cultivating the inner beauty. Because when you do listen to that inner voice, it washes over you a certain peace and a beauty and a quality. So this report might be a beginning step. There are more tips. There are 5 tips. And this video gave you 3. So already you've 8 tips ahead towards a new transition to get you through. And if you're interested in even more, there is a ebook on my website for sale. So please subscribe so you won't miss any more pieces of advice from my experience. That's what I can offer you now. And I'll be offering more in the future, so please subscribe so you'll stay tuned and be updated and not miss my upcoming offerings. I love you. God bless you. Bye for now.